Okay, who's going to pay us? That's the next big question that was asked. Very simple. When the hedge funds get liquidated, right? Well, when the smaller hedge funds get liquidated, the bigger hedge funds like Susquehanna and Citadel, they're going to have cash reserves and they're going to buy as many as they can, trying to cover. It's not going to be a lot. It's going to be very small amount, and then they're going to get liquidated. Now, what that means is the organization called the DTC, the Depository Trust Company, the clearinghouse, basically, they're going to take all their blue chip stocks, and the DTC has an insurance policy with the NSC, which is a sub company of these guys. Now they hold the blue chip stocks. It's their decision to either cash in those blue chip stocks like Amazon and Apple, or hand it off to these guys. And they have a $67 trillion insurance policy, and they, believe it or not, can start buying shares right then and there, the cheapest first all the way up to the top, and whatever's available for purchase. Now, since there are not going to be very many purchases going on because everyone's holding, that price is going to rise. So remember that, right? When they liquidates, that's the time to hold. And let's say we somehow beat this. By the way, guys, this is an astronomical number. $67 trillion is just an absolute crazy number. And I don't expect either between GME and AMC to break that number. But if by chance it does, and it does happen, the inevitable some black swan event. By the way, a black swan event is just it's a phrase that we use in industry. I was coined by this guy Taleb. There's a whole series of books, Nicholas Taleb. It basically means it's something that's very rare that you don't see very often, and that's something that you want to participate in. That's a black swan events. And let's say we beat and exceed the $67 trillion. The federal government will start printing money on the behalf of these guys, the NSCC, and they basically, it comes from the Treasury. And if it's so astronomical, yes, if it's so crazy amount of, like, if the amount of money is so crazy that exceeds 67 trillion, the value of the US dollar would go down, depending on how big that number is. Do I see that happening? Not really. I mean, 67 trillion is just an ungodly money. And I just don't see it happening. That's all I'm trying to say. But the Fed printing money, I don't see that happening either. It's from the US Treasury. Why do I keep always making these little mistakes? Treasury, that's not it. Treasury, there we go. Treasury. I don't see them busting out the printers and printing it out. I really don't see that happening. That's like really an act of God to think about it. But we wouldn't even know if we beat this number, because they're the ones doing the clearing, right? So it wouldn't make any difference. We wouldn't even know about it. Biden would know about it, and obviously he'd make a statement about it. But I don't think he would care, because, the taxes that he would get on the amount of, the insurance policy that we the taxpayers would pay back out, it would be a payday for him. It would be a windfall. He could cancel maybe a third of the national debt, and that's enough for him to run on the ticket again, even despite his, everything going wrong for him this whole year, and since his administration has started. So he wants this thing to go. Plus, remember, he hates Ken Griffin. He's been supporting his enemies at the Republican side. So there's another reason to let this thing happen. I see Gary Gensler kind of playing the ingenue, the coquettish schoolgirl, and not really caring until it starts to intercede with his life. And remember, Goldman Sachs has a position as a short on GME. That's his old company. That's all of his chums. They're not looking forward to this. So they're having an inside man. If anyone's going to get screwed over, it'll probably be the GME folks, the big hair shareholders. I don't have a lot of GME, but I think if there's any kind of treachery from Gary, it'll be because of the it'll go to the GME folks, not us. That's just my take on it. I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm wargaming the situation, and I'm figuring out, hey, how would this happen? How many ways can this happen? How can they do this? And I think that's one way they can do this. So that's how you're going to get paid. And I don't know how many days. I think clearance is going to be a few days. Once you hit sell, you're going to get credited the money. And then within 3, 4 days, maybe longer, the money shows up in your account. And if I were you, if there's some kind of financial crisis going on at that time, um, keep it in your brokerage. Don't move into your bank because they're going to be looking for cash. The banks are going to be looking for cash. I would keep it in the brokerage account and I would sit there. Some people say, oh, let's move it into crypto. I don't want to put my money in any risky, unregulated anything. I'm going to keep it right in the brokerage account where it belongs. So if shit happens or if we go to war or something crazy happens, I'll be able to participate in something bigger. Remember, if something really happens, remember, if countries want to make money, what do? Well, what do they need to do for, like, look at what we do. If we want to spawn, innovation, technology, or some kind of growth, what do? We always go to war. That always helps because new tech gets developed. There's money coming in. They justify it. And if that means that's the case, I will absolutely put my money up in bonds for war bonds or whatever else. I'm spitballing here, but there's a lot to invest in after you get your payday, after you get your check and your cutting, and so you got nothing to worry about. So just be patient. You're gonna get paid. You're not gonna get screwed over. You're gonna get paid. So that's all I have for this video. Thanks for joining me. Al from Boston signing out. Next one coming up.